Welcome to episode 3 of season 2 of the Heart of Bastrop talk show. Sadly, you see this empty chair? My favorite co-host is not with me today, and she's always missed. But we have some wonderful guests for you today. So we have Ashley Hermans with the Bastrop Animal Control Shelter, who has some really fascinating things to share with us. And then we also have Courtney Young with the Pines and Prairies Land Trust. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy today's show. So let's get to it. So we have 2 special guests today. I have Courtney Young with the Pines and Prairies Land Trust, and then I have Ashley Hermans with the Bastrop County Animal Shelter. So these are 2 really important organizations here in our community, and so we're really excited that you ladies decided to come be our guest today. So I'm going to start with you. Since you're the youngest, I think we'll torture you first. So tell me a little bit about Pines and Prairies Land Trust, because I know a lot of people are curious. You may have heard the name around, but they may not know what you guys do. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So Pines and Prairies Land Trust is a nonprofit organization founded in 2001. So this is our 20-year anniversary, and we're really excited.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. We have a mission to protect open space through land conservation, stewardship, and community engagement.
Nice.
A lot of people know us through the Colorado River Refuge, which is one of the nature preserves that we own and manage. It's right here in Bastrop in Tahitian Village, and it's open to the public 7 days a week, dawn till dusk. We also have 2 other nature preserves that we are protecting and using for like wildlife habitat and native habitat restoration. And those are open to the public, like by invitation. So a few times a year we'll open them up and people will have a chance to come see the work that we're doing.
You know, I didn't know that. I live in Tahitian Village, and I did not know that that entire, what's it's called again, the Colorado River Refuge.
Yes.
So you're preserving all that. It's beautiful down there. So guys, if you've not been down there, then you're really missing out. I don't want to tell everybody because I don't want them all coming, but it is beautiful. And so we spend, being in Tahitian, we'll take the golf cart down and we go fishing and swim in the summertime. It's amazing. Have you ever been out there?
I have been out. I haven't spent a lot of time out there, but anytime I go, I see deer and wild turkey and all kinds of neat wildlife. And
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
It is beautiful. We have deer feeders set up. My husband and I'm sorry guys, but I'm an avid hunter, so sometimes it's painful, but it's very beautiful.
It's always fun.
I love it. Yeah, no, it's beautiful to be able to see that and the deer. And sometimes there's a dozen 10 and 12 point bucks out there, and it's incredible. And then at night the coyotes, oh my goodness. Sometimes it's scary and I just go in, but there I see so much wildlife. I've seen bald eagles out there.
Yeah.
I've seen hawks by the plenty. I have a barn owl that lives in the back, and he's probably about this big, and I'm just scared he might eat my dog, so I have to be really careful. He's huge and he's beautiful. I have some of the most beautiful images, and he just sits on my fence like he lives there. And so he's comfortable because you guys are preserving, and there's nobody out there hunting and trying to kill the animals, right?
Yeah.
So it's really a big deal. So you guys have something really special coming up. So can you tell everybody a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, definitely. I like to think of it as kind of our 20th birthday party. Pines and Prairies is hosting the Wild Scenic Film Festival for the first time ever. It's going to be the first time it's ever been to Bastrop County. It's a film festival that originally started in California, and now it goes on tour across the country, partnering with different nonprofits who will host the event.
Wow.
So we're hosting the event, making it our own. It's going to be a fundraiser for our organization, and it's going to be on one of our properties, Villig Ranch. We're going to put up this big blow-up screen, and people are going to get to park their cars out on the prairie. They can sit in lawn chairs, BYOB, bring your own dinner. We're going to have a prairie tour ahead of time. People can hike with their families. There's going to be free drinks and popcorn. And we're even going to give people the opportunity to camp out on the prairie after the film program, which is really cool because it's always hard to find a place to camp in Texas.
Oh, yeah,
There's not
absolutely.
that many. The parks are always full. So
Right.
we're really excited about just having this be like a community event, bringing people together, because since COVID began, we've really had to limit how many people we bring together, but we see this as a really nice mix of like getting people together, talking about our mission, providing inspiration through the films and our property, but then also like staying safe. People can stay in their cars the whole time if they want to. They can sit in their lawn chairs if they want to. Kind of you do with it what you want.
Right. So that's great. So you do have some precautions there for people who may be a little bit concerned, if you can, stay in your car and watch the movie. I think that's incredible. And, people are really, they want to get out. People are tired of being, stuck in the house, and they really need those opportunities to get out and be in nature. And I tell you what, the opportunity to camp out there, guys. So, you guys know I'm a photographer. So the night photography, oh geez, the
stars.
Chance of getting to photograph the stars, that's a great opportunity. So if you're into photography, that would definitely be something interesting to do. Or even if you're into videography and you want to run, it's so dark out there, right? So they could set up their camera, run a video all night, and you get some great fast forward footage of the stars and the constellation. So.
And then in the morning, we're going to have a guided bird hike. So if you're into birding or bird wildlife photography, that'll be a really nice opportunity to wake up early and go on a hike. And, you can take pictures of birds and have an expert there to help identify them. So there's going to be a lot of good opportunities for explorers and families and photographers, anyone.
Yeah, for all ages, right? So no matter what age you are, there's going to be something exciting too. So the films that are going to be in the festival, do you know any information about that yet, or is it kind of a surprise to the public? Or?
Oh, that's a good question. I've had the pleasure of watching all the films. They're incredible.
Nice.
And they really range in topic. We have things about wildlife conservation, holistic ranching. We have films about diversity in the outdoors. We have films that are geared towards families and children. It's a really wonderful mix. And if you want to know more, our film lineup and preview is on our website.
And what is that website? Where can they go to check that out?
Yeah, you can find more information at www.pplt.org/wild and scenic. If you just go to pplt.org, there'll be a big ad on the homepage you can find too. And there you can get all the details about the event, all our special programs, and you can find the film lineup there.
Wonderful. Well, I'm excited about that, guys. So let's go out there and check that out together. I love it. Definitely. So, and while you're busy making sure the land is protected, this nice young woman over here is taking care of all of our animals here in Bastrop County. So can you tell everybody a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So I'm the director of Bastrop County's Animal Services Department. And what we do is, obviously the biggest facet of what we do is operating the animal shelter, which is over on Coolwater Drive here in Bastrop. Not that not everybody even knows that. But we do. We have about 100 kennels. We see about 4,000 animals, dogs and cats, come through every year.
4,000. Wow.
Yep.
It's a big number. I didn't expect that many. That's surprising.
Yeah, it's probably going to grow in the future here as the population of Bastrop County continues to grow.
And it is growing.
Yeah, so we're looking to the future and trying to make sure that we have plans for that. But at the moment, we offer animal control services for the unincorporated portion of Bastrop County. We also house and shelter all of the lost and homeless pets within the unincorporated as well as the 3 city areas. They do contract with us, so the animals will all come. If you're missing a pet, come
You're the
to
person
our
to
facility.
call, right?
That's right, as soon as possible, and keep checking back.
So can I ask you a question about that? I've wondered about this. So if I have I see a stray animal where, in my home, or maybe an animal that I suspect is ill or something, are you the people that we call about that, or how does that work?
Yes, if you're in an unincorporated area of the county, we are the folks that you would call.
That means if you're not in the city limits.
Right, if you're not in the city limits of Smithville, if you're not in the city limits of Bastrop or Elgin, each of those cities do actually have a specific animal control officer that is employed through their police departments. And then we have our own, staff through the county.
So who can they call if they're in the unincorporated areas and they need assistance with animal control? Is there a number or a website?
So if you're looking for your lost pet and you want to check and see the photographs of all the animals that we have at the shelter, the county website is, for all the county services, is www.co for county.bastrop.tx. And you can go on there and you go through the departments. They're listed alphabetically for animal services, so we go first. And click on there, and then you'll see it'll say adoption or lost pets, and you can click on both to view both
so you
populations. You can see we
pets
take
that are
photos
ready.
of every animal that comes through, make sure that that's posted. We also allow people to come to the shelter itself to walk through and see them, and that's 7 days a week between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Everybody's more than welcome to come if you're looking for. We want to reunite you with your pet.
Absolutely.
And so we do that. The only exception, there are county holidays, but we're there every day of the year. We do leave a little bit earlier on those days, so we want to make sure you arrive before, like, say, 11 o'clock in the morning.
So but they can find that out on the website, right? Like your hours of operation
Yes.
and all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
That's so do you guys get outside funding? Do you need people to send you anything? Is there something? Because our community is amazing, and I know you guys will step up whatever you need. They'll definitely be willing to do that.
We get tremendous support from our community. We have support organizations. We have partner organizations. So in terms of what the shelter needs, specifically, if you want to support our food program, which is how we feed all the dogs and all those 4,000 animals.
Oh, that's a lot of animals.
A lot of animals. So the Friends of the Bastrop County Animal Shelter actually funds our Hills Diet shelter pet program.
Gotcha.
So we actually are able to buy a good quality, consistent diet through them at a discounted price, and it's shipped right to our door.
Wonderful.
So rather than people having to buy and wondering what to buy or where, they can actually donate directly to the Friends group, and then the Friends will make sure that we get that food. We actually get to order it, and then they pay for it.
That's great.
So that's helpful. Yes.
That is helpful.
So a lot of people donate to us in various ways, and we appreciate all of that help. For sure.
Yeah, that's great. And I tell you, Bastrop County is just an amazing county. I mean, everybody is always willing to step up to the plate and do their part. And that's just what makes it such an incredible place to live, a great place to visit. It's just amazing. So I know that you guys do something else really special, which I sadly did not find out about it until I'd already spent kind of a fortune. But you have a special hours for that you provide animal services, like a vet service.
Hey,
Sarie.
Sarie. Hey, Sarie.
Hey, Sarie.
Hey, Sarie. Hey, Sarie. Hey, Sarie. Hey, Sarie.
Hey,
Hey, Sarie. Hey, Sarie.
Hey, Sarie.
Hi, Jean. Thank you so much for writing into Hey Sarie. If you're anything like me and coffee is live, then I really love this question. Where is the best cup of coffee in Elgin? My answer is the ChemN Cafe, because they have brewing coffee down to a science. Let's go in and check out this amazing cup of coffee and this really cute vibe. So I am here with Monica Nava, and she is the owner of ChemN Cafe. And so please tell me, like, what inspired the name? What inspired this really cool kind of, chemistry vibe and everything behind the coffee shop? I am dying to know.
Okay, so when I first moved to Elgin, I thought, before I even moved, let me go to the coffee shop, and there wasn't one.
Right.
So I thought, okay, I sat on that idea for a little bit. I love coffee. While I was in school, I used to love to go to coffee shops and sit and study, and I thought, I had a foot injury, and I was, laying in bed thinking, what am I gonna do with my life? And it just kind of hit me like, I'm tired of the commute. I want there to selfishly be a coffee shop here.
Right.
So
this is not a very selfish vibe though at all. It's like so for the community. You've got the games for the kids.
Yes.
Little like piggy socks for the kids. Oh my gosh.
I know. Everything.
So
We've got
cute.
vendors in here.
Yes.
But the design idea was always important for me to have it be educationally inspiring. So I thought, well, the lab is always fun when you sit in lab and do like science experiments and stuff. Instead of just having like a classroom setting where it'd be kind of a turnoff to some people.
Sure.
And then I thought, ooh, beakers and flasks and plants in them, and it just kind of came together. I pulled up a periodic table of elements, and the name Cafe, C-A-F-E, came out. So I had to think of what would go with it.
Right.
And the rest of the letters came together to spell chem out of periodic elements. And that's where the name came from. So
That is
yeah,
cute.
so it was a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. And it also kind of, because you have like the perfect recipe for your coffee, right?
Yeah.
It's like a chemistry to create a perfect, like
That's
the
right.
temperature is
You have to-
important.
It's so important, exactly. You hit it right there. Like the water is of the utmost importance. You have to have the right temperature. You have to have the right amount of ratio coffee to
Right, right.
So yeah, it all fit together.
I know, and it's
Yeah.
funny because people are like, just make coffee, but it really is kind of like a science and an art behind making the perfect
Exactly.
brew. Because I know I'm not good at it.
There's been so many people have said, I tried making it at home and it doesn't taste like this, even though it's the same coffee.
Right.
And I'm like, well, you have to measure your coffee, heat up the water at the correct time.
Right. It's kind of like baking.
Exactly.
If you just throw it all in, it's not going to
Exactly.
come out the right consistency as the bakery.
It's definitely
Yeah.
something that has to be put thought into.
Right. And so you told me that something really exciting is about to happen, right? You guys are getting some new technology in here.
We're on Tuesday. We're getting a roaster put in, so we are going to be roasting our own coffee,
Yum.
supplying our own blends, and we're also going to be able to offer private label to businesses in the area, all over. I mean, we can ship, but that's the most exciting thing for us. There's a lot of roasters in the outside communities, but now Elgin will have its very own coffee roaster, and we'll be able to
Yay.
supply that coffee to other businesses also. So that
Oh
is
my
exciting.
gosh,
Yeah.
that's so great. Like,
Yeah.
so Bastrop County and Elgin is getting its own
Roaster.
coffee label. Like,
Yes.
that is huge.
Yeah, huge.
That's super, super
We're excited
cool.
about that.
Yes, yeah.
It's been in the
That's like
making
great for
a
the
long
whole
time.
community.
Exactly.
It can
Yeah.
get shipped out anywhere, and it's going to say Elgin, Texas.
Yes, that's right.
That's right.
Our label has Elgin, Texas in our steam, which a lot of people don't, our logo, a lot of people don't see it right off the bat, but if you look at the logo,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
has Elgin, Texas in
That's
the steam.
cute.
So, yeah.
That's very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. Okay. So, yeah, I definitely am excited to try some coffee. If you want to just, whatever you suggest, I am down to try
Awesome. Let's
your signature
right over
one.
here.
Okay, great. So this is where the magic happens, right?
Yes.
I'm excited. So you're going to teach me how to make an excellent latte? What is this, espresso latte?
This is an espresso machine.
Okay.
I lovingly call her Selma and take care of her. And
Yeah.
then this is our menu. We created this menu for ChemN Cafe. It's called The Lab. We've got the Elginite, Main Street, Priscilla, Old McDade, 290, MKT, and Wildcat.
Which is all central for here in Elgin. Those are Elgin-inspired names.
That's right.
That's
Exactly.
cute. I love it. Another way to show pride right here for Bastrop County, Elgin, Texas.
yes.
Love it. All right, so I've never been a barista before. I'm super excited to learn.
All right, so we're gonna do the Elginite, which is a latte made with butter pecan, vanilla, and cinnamon.
Oh my gosh, that
Yes.
sounds heavenly.
So we're gonna put your butter pecan syrup in.
Okay.
And we're gonna get some vanilla in there.
Okay.
You gotta put your milk in. And it takes a little bit of knowing, how much milk you need for what. So I'm gonna put some milk in there.
Okay.
And I'm gonna add some cinnamon.
See, when you're a master, you just kind of eyeball it.
Exactly.
But for me, you'd have to say, 4 tablespoons of milk or what have you.
So this is your portafilter, so it's basically like a coffee filter.
Okay.
You want to get that filled with your espresso.
So that's reusable, right?
It is reusable.
Which is more environmentally friendly. I like that.
You get that nice and packed in there. We call it tamping.
Oh, wow.
Plug it
Here,
in.
can I see that really fast?
Sure.
Wow.
So
That is beautiful.
yeah, I kind of
Nice and warm.
have to retamp it, but
See
it's important to keep it
That's
warm.
pretty. Ooh, it smells good. Okay.
Plug that right in. We're gonna get a cup down here, and that you can feel this is nice and warm also. So the cups
Oh,
on
yeah.
top are warm.
Okay.
And then steaming wand here is gonna steam the milk.
Okay.
So I'm gonna hit my shot to get that started. Get my milk steamed.
So how can you tell when it's steamed properly?
Usually you want to measure the temperature with a thermometer, but I also am so
Used to it that you
get
can
used to
eyeball it?
You can feel it, the side of it, to where it's a temperature that you know is going to be the correct temperature.
Okay.
You clean your wand afterwards, and this is going to be
Startled me. Just about jumped a mile.
Your espresso shot.
Okay.
It has like a nice milky finish to it. And then I'm gonna get my milk poured in there.
Oh wow. So it looks really like fluffy.
And that's it. Would you like to taste it?
Yes, I would like to taste it. Thank you.
Welcome. It's a little warm.
It is. Ooh. Wow. So I can taste the cinnamon and
A little bit of butter pecan and a little bit of vanilla.
yeah, and then it's kind of like that's the aftertaste. It leaves me more with the butter pecan, which is great because that's my favorite flavor out of all. So it's like kind of starts and hits you with some cinnamon, and then you get like some vanilla, and then at the very end it's like this heavenly creamy butter pecan. Oh my gosh, it's delicious.
That's one of the favorites on the menu.
Yeah, I can see why.
So, and it helps to drink it out in a nice warm glass also, cup.
And I mean, this steamed milk really does. I've never really had this
A latte?
a latte like
Yeah.
this before.
It makes all the difference.
Yeah, that milk, the way that it's just so light and fluffy and airy, and then there's like this warm liquid that kind of follows, and
Yeah.
it's just
And So
wow.
you can see that, you know, your coffee has been brewed through here. And so we want to get that cleaned out right away. And that's how we take care of the machine here.
Right, which is everything because maintenance is
Maintenance is everything.
yeah. Wow, this is great. Thank you so
You're
much,
so welcome.
Monica.
Yes, thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, I definitely still want to hang out because it's a very good chill vibe, and
Nice.
I love like all of the little vendors that we were talking about before.
Yeah.
I want to check out their little products and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
I saw some earrings over there that
Really
were kind of
cute
like fun
earrings.
and
Yes, we have vendors that do earrings, that do wraps around the cups. We have little holiday stuff right now. So
oh yeah, the little cozies are so cute for the kids
yes,
even too.
Yes,
So adorable.
we've got a book that's that was written by a 12-year-old.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah, and it's available on Amazon, so we have that in here.
I love that.
Yeah.
Books by kids for kids
Yes.
in the coffee shop. So y'all need to come on down to ChemN Cafe and check out this place and come meet Monica and tell them that Sarie sent y'all in. Come on in and enjoy the reads and these cute little fun arts that are all over this place. They actually, what I love about ChemN Cafe is they support other small local businesses, and they allow vendors to come in and use their space as a venue to sell their products. And so these look like some cute little things. The best cup of coffee is at ChemN Cafe in Elgin, 114 North Main Street. You can check them out on Facebook too. Definitely come and get yourself the best latte in town. In the county. Whether you're a lifelong resident to Bastrop, new, thinking about exploring it, or just plain curious, be sure to submit your questions to theheartofbastrop.com or heartofbastrop@gmail. You can either write in or send in a video like this to be featured on our show perhaps. Either way, I really look forward to hearing from you and can't wait to explore Bastrop County with you. Just make sure that you address your questions to Hey Sarie, that's me.
We do. So, you know, rather than just being reactive and taking animals into the shelter, we want to have a proactive approach to this and kind of address the different reasons that animals might be coming into the shelter in the first place. One of those is, you know, really preventable illnesses, whether it's mange or, you know, parvo or distemper, any kinds of those illnesses that are very, very preventable. We have a low-cost wellness program, and it's open 3 days a week. It's Wednesday and Friday from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. and then Sunday as well from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's walk-in service. You don't need to have an appointment. You come and sign in. There's no fee to see the veterinarian. A lot of times you'll get that exam fee.
Wow.
We don't have an exam
What's
fee.
better than free, right?
Yeah, basically we know that people are going to come to us because they need products or services.
Right.
And that's what we want to provide. And we don't want there to be that barrier you know, to coming to seek out those services, because a lot of times we get in these animals and they have these conditions and it could have been so easily prevented.
Right.
You know, the vaccinations are $15
Wow.
for your, you know, core vaccine, which covers distemper and parvo and a bunch, you know, host of other things. Rabies, obviously very important. We're the agency in charge with making sure everybody's rabies vaccinated, so we provide that vaccine for $10. If you walk in, get your animal rabies vaccinated and walk out, you will pay $10.
That is incredible because it is so much. Y'all know how expensive
Yes.
it is. If you have pets, you know if you get out of there less than $500, it's a miracle.
It can be very cost prohibitive, and so we want to help people overcome that. Heartworms. So heartworms are spread by mosquitoes.
I did not know that. Mosquitoes.
Yeah. So a mosquito
wow.
will bite an infected animal that is carrying heartworms, and it goes through their bloodstream, the little microflora, which is
And
not to
that's
get
a
technical.
horrible
But so
thing for a
they
dog.
feed on that pet, and then they come to your pet, feed, and then they transmit that parasite.
I really
to-
hate mosquitoes.
And
Did I
they're
mention
terrible.
that?
But it's Texas, and we have a lot of them.
Yes, we
There's
do.
a trade-off for our great weather, and that is mosquitoes. So we do testing for that. We actually also are able to offer a treatment for it. So
That's
that can
incredible.
be, yeah, and that's come a long way. There's progress being made on that. Right now it's an off-label treatment, but they're doing the studies that they need to do so that it will be, regular, prescribed product.
That's
We're able to do
interesting.
it with our veterinarian.
So
and
what about spaying and neutering? Did you say that you
we
also do that as
that.
well?
So
Wow.
the biggest factor in needing to have a shelter is that there are pets without homes. And so in order to combat that, we offer through our partner program with Save an Angel is another 501c3, and we lease our medical building that we have already.
What was the name of it? You said
It's a 501c3, but they're Save an Angel.
Save an Angel.
Is the name of the
How sweet is
organization.
that?
So what we do, at the shelter, we make sure everything is sterilized before they leave. So we have the facilities, we have all the equipment, we have the space, we have everything
Wow.
you need to do spay and neuter there at the shelter.
That's great.
They get to come in, they can utilize our resources, those physical, they don't need to pay to, rent the place or buy all of this expensive medical equipment. We have it. And then they can offer low-cost services to the public. They are able to staff and run and manage. I mean, there's a lot to do with that. And of course, the county, we've got a staff to run the core services that we have, but that's just a whole nother level of service for the public. And so they've taken that part on. They utilize our facility right there on Coolwater, and 2 days of the week, they are able to do spay and neuter for the public for very, very low cost. And we also have a voucher program for people who really can't afford that either, because it's still around $100
Right,
for this
right.
service, no matter what. But we have a voucher program, again, funded by our support organizations like the Friends of the Bastrop County Animal Shelter. And we're able to provide those to the people who can't afford them at no charge.
I wonder what the numbers say about how many more people would be likely to adopt pets if they knew they couldn't get pregnant and have more puppies and more, you know what I mean? I feel like
It's a huge cost savings. So
Oh,
if somebody
absolutely.
were to offer you a free puppy, outside of a grocery store or something, you would take that puppy and you would need to get them all of their preventative care, all their
Yeah.
puppy series of vaccines, because they need multiple to actually get immunity. They're going to need their rabies, they're going to need dewormer, they're going to need all kinds of, puppy products. They're going to need to be spayed and neutered, all of these things. And if you were to seek that out on your own through traditional services, it's going to cost you hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
oh yeah.
When you adopt from us, we have done everything that's up to age specific and appropriate, services. Sometimes for rabies, for example, we can't rabies vaccinate an animal that's under 3 months old. So if you're adopting a tiny little baby, 2-month-old, you've got it up to date.
Got to wait till it gets a little bit older.
But we can actually have them go home sterile even at that age.
Wow.
It's pediatric spay and neuter. I have never met an animal that has had any long-term complication from that. But what it does do is it ensures that that animal will never be a source of future animals coming back into us.
Gotcha. So, when you were saying that, I was thinking, when they're really young like that, like puppies are more likely to get adopted than older.
They
I've always
are.
heard that,
They are.
And so I'm wondering, maybe I know a lot of people buy a puppy because it's like so pretty, or they'll adopt a puppy because it's so pretty, and then it becomes an adult. And then they're not as, willing to take care of it. The new kind of wears off. And I think maybe with spay and neuter at that young age, at least that, that puppy through its lifespan is not going to, like you said, be the creator of more animals that are going to find themselves in that situation. So I think that's a great service. I know my nephew, his name's Jason Piles. He owns a Good Time Smokehouse up in Center, Texas. I don't know if you guys know where Center is, but it's up by Nacogdoches. So Jason owns a smokehouse, and guess what? They process animals, so they end up with a lot of like cows and the leftover pieces. Well, that's a big attractant for kitty cats, right? So when animals smell, that, they tend to come forward. So he gathers up kittens and he takes them that come up, and he goes and gets them spayed and neutered, because that's his way of doing.
We participate in that too.
Yeah.
So it's called TNR. So it's trap, neuter, and return.
And then he just returns them because hey, if they want to live there in the woods, and they're cats, they can fend for themselves, they can mouse, they can live just like any other animal in the wild. And he's got plenty of acreage for them to do it on, but he needs to be sure that they're not out there making 900 babies, because his mother used to be a cat lady, and I used to give my sister a hard time all the time because she's like, but she'll bring them all in. I was like, I'm pretty sure they're breeding, because every time I come it looks like more cats. Like, no they're not, but they were. And she loved the animals, so every time there was a stray, she'd bring it in. So, but yeah, it's a big deal to take them out and get them taken care of. So even if you live in a neighborhood and you know there's stray cats, I mean, they can do that, right? They can bring them in, get them spayed, and do your part.
We work with Bastrop Cats to do the organization for the appointments for them, but we do that at our facility, and they do those cats on days when we're doing spay neuter surgery for the county-owned animals. We also do that through the Save an Angel group. But Bastrop Cats is really helpful in kind of being that interface between the public who have all these cats and us who are the service providers, and making sure that they know what day to come in and picking up and all the, just the coordination. But
well, that's just so interesting. Like, I would have never thought you get heartworms from mosquitoes. I mean, am I the only one that didn't know that? Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. And now I'm like, oh.
So hopefully your pets are on prevention either way.
They are, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So we provide that.
Heartworms is a really bad, horrible death for a dog. I've seen it before. It's just, my niece right now, Amy, she's dealing with her puppy, got heartworms. And he'd been prevented, but I guess maybe he had gotten that window where maybe it wore out, because it's not one time.
It is a window, even once you start treatment, if it takes 6 months for the exposure to show on one of the tests.
Right.
And so, you might test an animal at one point, looks good, or you start them on prevention, and you could check them later down the road, and it'll still come up as a positive. But luckily these days, most animals, if they do receive care, they don't have to suffer that same fate anymore. And the old treatments are pretty tough on them. Almost, the treatments themselves really could be almost fatal, and sometimes were fatal if the dog was really in advance and had a heavy load, heavy burden. I had a dog that I got from our shelter that I put through the old-fashioned treatment a few years back. And it was rough. I mean, it was really rough. He just passed out on the floor in front of my husband. I think he just about had a heart attack. But, we rushed him in, and we got him on some extra medication, including Viagra and some prednisone. Yes, that was an interesting conversation.
You're talking about the dog, not the husband, the dog.
Yes, the dog. And I had to just talk to the pharmacist and be like, no, this is for the dog. And she's like, are you sure? I said, I'm sure. When I finally explained it was a heart condition, she said, oh, that makes so much sense, because apparently originally that was what it was developed for.
Wow.
There's a side effect.
Had great other side effects, right?
But we used that, and he did pull through. But these days, it's a much easier battle to fight with the kids that are positive.
Well, that's just really interesting. And ladies, you really do a really great service, both of you, for Bastrop County. And we are just tickled that you came out here. And so maybe we just need to do a girls' night and go out and do the drive-in movie.
Yeah.
That's exciting, right? I'm sure.
I've heard.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I've heard of people who are calling and saying, like, can I park next to my friends, because we're coming out for my birthday party. And I'm like, yeah, we can definitely make that happen. So
yeah, that's great. Yeah,
we can all
I
work
think
together.
it's something different. Like when you have the thing about Bastrop County is there's always some different, unusual event every single weekend. And I'll tell you, as the general manager for the Hampton Inn, here in Bastrop. The events are back, and I am booking stuff quicker than I can get them. You know, my meeting room, I'm the only one in Bastrop County, the only hotel with a ballroom, you know, besides the Hyatt, you know, and so I'm booked up. I'm just, it's booking up just like this. And so we love that the events are coming back and people are ready to get out. So we're looking forward to your events. Yeah. And from now on, you're my new vet.
We're low cost. We don't do everything, but we do that. And yeah, we're starting to get our offsite adoption events going again. Because that great. Obviously had
yeah. So if people want to adopt, you said they could go on the website and
they can come on in. We're open for adoptions from 11 until 4 Wednesday through Sunday. If you just want to come in and just see them in person, and we'll be happy to help you out, introduce you to everybody who's ready to go. Basically, the animals that we have there.
What does it cost to adopt? So is it different for cats and dogs? Because I thought it was.
It is. Our cat adoption fee is $65, and our dog adoption fee is $130. And again, that includes them being sterilized. That includes them having vaccinations and being
which is basically free, because that is all that's going to cost more.
Right.
If
when
you
you
bought
take that all into consideration, it's the deal of the century, I always say. So, but yeah, I mean, we get a lot of great adopters that come to the shelter, and you know, even through all of this COVID, we realized very quickly that nobody told the animals that COVID was going on.
Right.
So we quickly just modified our operations, you know, as necessary, and then continued at full operating hours. Whereas a lot of other facilities, like in Austin, they just shut down.
Right.
We tried that for about 2 weeks and realized that was not
no,
going
it's
to
not
be a
going to work.
long-term
Yeah, we're
option.
going to be over with 4,000 animals a year. You couldn't really afford to shut down for
No,
a
we
week.
couldn't, no. And I didn't want to leave animals out in the street without assistance, and you know, so now with mask requirements lifting, we just ask that they're still recommended, of course, but we do limit how many people come inside of our office building to process adoption, so that way everybody has space.
Yeah, they feel comfortable.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And it works just fine, and we've not had a single problem.
Well, I have my little pixel that I adopted through you guys, and I guess it's been, oh my goodness, almost 3 years. And Pixel we named her Pixel because he was the little studio dog, right? So she is a little studio dog, and she's a tomboy, believe me when I tell you that. And we have sometimes I fuss at her really bad, but she knows I love her, and she's just been the best dog. And so many people have said, oh my God, and she's kind of like one of those Heinz dogs, you know, but she's long-haired, and just, it was a great thing. And so I had already had a boxer, and she was big, and I felt like, and she had been neutered when she was really little, and I felt like she needed a companion, because dogs are like people, and I work during the day, you know, and I'm not there with her during the day, so I was like, my dog needs a companion so she's not lonely. And believe me, dogs have feelings just like people have feelings.
Yeah, and they have friends just like we have friends.
Absolutely.
Sometimes they don't like somebody just like sometimes we
right. Luckily that was not the case. And my older dog thinks the little dog is her puppy.
Oh.
And it's the cutest thing you've ever seen. So it really was a blessing for us, and she's a big part of our family. So
well, that's what we hope for with everybody that adopts from us, is that pet is going to be part of their family forever.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for coming out today. And I'm sure, you know, everybody found everything you had to say very interesting. I know I did. So I'm going to run everything one more time across the screen so you guys know how to get a hold of these ladies. And we appreciate you coming out to be on the Heart of Bastrop.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. I sure hope you enjoyed the show today as much as I did. I loved meeting our guests. We have some really fascinating people who live here in Bastrop County. If you would like to be on a future show, maybe you have an event coming up, or you want to talk about, you know, your fascinating business, or maybe you're just a fascinating person, go to theheartofbastrop.com. There's a form you can fill out to submit to become a guest. And if you have questions for Hey Sarie episode, then be sure that you send an email to heartofbastrop@gmail.com. You can ask Sarie any question, and she'll try her best to answer it for you. Don't miss an episode, so be sure that you go to theheartofbastrop.com and sign up to get notified every time there's a new episode. Or you can find us on YouTube at The Heart of Bastrop. We just don't want you to miss some of the exciting things that we have coming up.